This is Innovation Fixation, a series featuring local inventors showcasing the future of technology in our community.
Hi, this is Lisa Monteleone, Tampa City Council member, and with me today on Innovation Fixation is Stuart Pinnock from Life Enabling Technologies. Great to have you here. So tell us a little bit about Life Enabling Technologies and a little bit about the company.
Well, Life Enabling Technologies is a company that I started here in Tampa. It kind of came about as a result of me attending Startup Quest through CareerSource and figuring out all the intellectual property that was sitting on the shelves of universities. I reached out to University of South Florida, and I've licensed 2 products that are the main offerings of Life Enabling Technologies right now.
What prompted you to go after this idea you had?
Well, the technologies are 2 separate products that were developed in an engineering class at University of South Florida, patented by USF. The first one is a tray table, and the second one is a backpack retriever, both of them designed specifically for electric wheelchairs. They're mainly meant to give people in wheelchairs more independence and empower them to have more capacity to live normal daily lives and to do things that they want to do and need to do but could not do previously.
That's great. And you have the tray table with you?
I do.
You want to show us a little bit about how it works?
Well, you can picture this tray table replacing one of the armrests on a wheelchair. And the person who is using it opens the armrest and deploys the table so that they can put a drink, an ashtray, a laptop, an iPad. They can also raise this to read a book,
Nice.
also use their iPad, put their cell phone. And if they have to get out of the wheelchair, without having to stow it, it can rotate out of the way. So it can almost be a side table as well.
Terrific. So that's a very useful product.
And that was the point. This just enables somebody to enjoy regular daily activities. When you think of accommodations for somebody in a wheelchair, accommodations usually result in a ramp and a space. Mm-hmm. This gives the person in the wheelchair an opportunity to do more than just occupy a space.
Sure, and I know a lot of people in wheelchairs, and it is difficult to have something balanced on your lap. You mentioned about reading and having the iPad or the book at the right angle for reading. So that attaches to their wheelchair, and is it deployed automatically, or do they have to manipulate the product like you just did?
It's not deployed automatically yet. It's deployed manually. The other product, the backpack retriever, and I can just explain that to you.
Sure.
The backpack retriever moves the backpack from the back of the wheelchair to the side of the wheelchair automatically.
That would be really handy.
Exactly. And it came about, I have a friend, Arizona Jenkins. We go out and smoke cigars.
I know Arizona. He sits on one of my committees on the
Well, there
MPO.
you go. So next time you see Arizona, he has one of these tables installed, and we'll get him a backpack retriever next. But one of the main impetuses behind the backpack retriever was me constantly having to fetch his cigars out of his backpack. Well, now, when I get in the backpack retriever, he can move the backpack to the side, get his humidor, get his cigar and his lighter, and not have to ask me anymore.
So it came out of a mutual friendship.
Absolutely.
And you saw the need for something that was missing in his life, and that was the ability to do something that comes naturally to most of us.
Exactly. People look at people in wheelchairs, and oftentimes they overlook them. And Arizona doesn't want help. He needs help,
right.
But if he could do it himself, he would
Sure.
much rather do it himself. When I went to USF to look at these products, when they reached out to me about these 2 patents, I brought Arizona with me because I said, Arizona, you know more than anybody
Sure.
about what impacts a user in a wheelchair. And when we left that meeting, he looked at me and he said, I want them both. And that was another impetus behind the starting of Life Enabling Technology.
So USF, let me see if I can understand this and if you can explain to the audience. USF held the patents on these two products.
Yes.
But they didn't develop them until you got involved. Who built the prototype?
The prototype was built by the inventor. He's a professor at USF. Both products were patented by USF, but they never got very far in the commercialization process.
Okay.
So they reached out to me because, like me, they saw that these products are needed in the community, especially for people who have suffered traumatic injuries. We're talking about our veterans, people born with muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, ALS.
Sure.
All of these people have a need for these products.
And this is a great area to develop products like that because, you know, with the VA hospital here and this severe spinal cord injury center here, there's a lot of people who leave the hospital and end up staying in the area, and they could use this product and they could test it out for you and be the people who run it through its paces to see if it really works for them and make suggestions, probably like Arizona has already made suggestions on how to make it better.
Absolutely.
And so how does something like that, just for somebody who's not in the industrial design area or engineering, how does something get made and produced? So this is a prototype, but you have to bring it to a manufacturing facility now?
Actually, I have a manufacturer that I'm working on called QTM. They have manufactured me 5 additional prototypes that I have. One is installed in Arizona's wheelchair, and I have 4 more. So they're local. It's important for me to keep this product local, the manufacturing and the distribution.
Glad to hear that.
Absolutely.
And the funding that goes along, does the university help you with the funding, or are you on your own trying to find funding to get these prototypes into mass production?
I'm mostly on my own trying to find funding. So if any of you watching that show have a need to fund something that will help a lot of people, please contact me.
That's wonderful. And there are, you know, folks who want to invest money in a product they believe in. And something that will help not just, you know, one person, but be expanded to a greater community. And, you know, for folks who want to be altruistic with their dollars, this sounds like a product that they might be interested in. So how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can visit the website at lifeenablingtech.com. There's a contact me page. And they could see both products, a video of the backpack retriever and the tray table.
Great. So if you want to get in touch with Stuart, visit the website and see how you can get involved, or maybe take some inspiration from his story and how this very important piece of equipment for the disabled community or the differently abled community has come to be. And it's just a wonderful experience to meet you. Thank you very much for being with us. Stay tuned for more Innovation Fixation.
Creating a corporate video is the fastest way to deliver any message online about your business. Many companies are now switching their primary marketing focus to online video-based strategies, and as such are seeing a much higher return on investment. Video sharing sites like Vimeo or YouTube have the potential to get your videos seen by millions of viewers, simply because videos hosted on these sites are shareable. A corporate video can be the gift that keeps on giving, as it can be used in a multitude of different ways. The video can double as a brand awareness tool. The video also can be repurposed or cut down to a promotional style. With an experienced, creative, and award-winning staff, TBCN is the right choice for all your video and audio production needs. To learn about how we can help you expand or refine your business through the use of video, call us at 813-977-5200 and visit us at tbcn.org.
Hi, I'm Lisa Monteleone, Tampa City Council member, and with me today is Ramesh Sambashivan from Alligator Zone. Welcome, Ramesh. Can you tell us a little bit about your company, Alligator Zone?
Absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for having me here. Alligator Zone is where kids meet cool startups. And rather, it's almost like cool kids meet cool startups. We put children and startup founders together in a room, in libraries, in public libraries, and then magic happens. For the simple reason that it's basically a product show and tell, where startup founders actually show the products that they have built or describe the offerings, if it's an app, if it's a physical product. We do it in public libraries. It's free for anyone to attend. It's a family event. And in these sessions, the children learn as they look at the products and learn through a process of inquiry and feedback.
And how old are the children who attend your sessions?
I have seen children from 7 and older really well engaged with the process.
Have any of them come up with their own ideas and their own products that they want to explore?
Yeah, they have. Yeah. So it does spark some ideas and the desire to actually solve problems. It's a simple way for children to learn how in their local area problems are being solved by real entrepreneurs.
So it sounds like it's part education and part startup company for you. Is this your first venture that you've done?
No, it's not. But this is one of multiple things that I've been trying out. This one has become one of my favorites because there is something about the honesty in the conversations that happen. And this addresses some of the problems that startup companies typically face, which is they have a tough time communicating what they do in simple language. So the one thing that investors are known to say to startup founders either seeking funding or preparing to go to the market is, imagine you're talking to a third grader. Guess what? We actually bring third graders into the room.
So it's as much an education for the children, learning about how companies work and how products are developed, and it's an education for the people who have startup companies in how to communicate their message.
Absolutely, yeah. So startup founders force themselves to strip away all the jargon. So they are taught to use simple language. And the kids ask some very existential questions like, why are you doing this? And so it forces the startup founders to be very honest with themselves. And sometimes they pause and think, and then they respond. Many times they do really well if they prepare, knowing what they're going to say. But there's always a surprise or two for them when they come into the room.
So let me turn the tables on you, Ramesh. Why are you doing this?
I think multiple dots have connected. So I had trouble explaining what I did to my own children, to my niece and nephews when they were young. I have seen startup companies struggle with the messaging part of it. Getting the message right is half the battle won. Whether you're trying to sell a product to the market, trying to pitch to investors, trying to attract the right kind of employees, it all boils down to how do you communicate what is the reason for your existence and make it purposeful and meaningful.
And you have partners that help you do these events?
No, right now.
All by yourself? Wow, that's ambitious.
Well, right now I have a lot of support from the community. So I work closely with libraries in different cities. Alligator Zone is currently in 8 cities.
Wow.
So it's in Florida, it's in Silicon Valley, it's in Pennsylvania. I work closely with the library, with the public libraries, for the reason that children are most comfortable in a public library.
So here in Hillsborough County, what libraries have you had Alligator Zone events?
It was actually, this whole thing was launched in Valrico at the Bloomingdale Library, And then we took it to the South Tampa Library in Jan Platte. Next month we'll do the Jimmy B. Keel Library.
Well, I'd like to have you up in District 7 at the Cross Creek, the library in New Tampa.
This is going to be a touring one, so we'll be there.
And we have another library in North Tampa. It's the North Tampa Library, go figure. That was a convenient name.
One thing that we are trying to do now is, it's a pilot I'm testing out with Pennsylvania, with Wayne County in Pennsylvania. Wayne, Pennsylvania has the Radnor Memorial Library. And we did one Alligator Zone session there. Now, when you try to do something like this, this is very intense. It is very hands-on. For me to be personally at every location is physically impossible because
Sure.
I want to see I want to see Alligator Zone in every small town. So for that, my first step with the Radnor Library in Pennsylvania is to start getting teens involved. So I'm going to develop a coaching program so that teenagers can almost run it by themselves
Great.
through the library, because they have a teen volunteer program.
So it's a very intergenerational program. So you have the third graders, you're hoping to get the teens involved,
Teens are
and the
always
adults.
involved. No, teens are always involved, but I want them to own it and run it.
So if there are people out in our audience, how do they get in touch with you? What's your website? And as we wrap up, just tell us a little bit about how they can get involved.
Alligatorzone.org. Alligatorzone.org is the website. And just go to the website, just reach out to us, or you can go to @AlligatorZone on Twitter and reach out to us, direct message.
How about Facebook? Are you on Facebook as
We
well?
are on Facebook too, facebook.com/alligatorzone.org.
Great, because I'm on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all of those things too, and I know it's
Sure.
important to be connected, and that's how a lot of people end up finding out information. So thank you very much for
Absolutely.
sharing your story with us and for the work you do, because education is key and we never stop learning. So I'm really happy that this is covering a lot of different age groups. So thank you very much for the work
It's a
you're
family
doing.
event, so please come to find your nearest library and just show up and enjoy, have a good time.
Great, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Innovation Fixation.
Creating a corporate video is the fastest way to deliver any message online about your business. Many companies are now switching their primary marketing focus to online video-based strategies, and as such are seeing a much higher return on investment. Video sharing sites like Vimeo or YouTube have the potential to get your videos seen by millions of viewers, simply because videos hosted on these sites are shareable. A corporate video can be the gift that keeps on giving, as it can be used in a multitude of different ways. The video can double as a brand awareness tool. The video also can be repurposed or cut down to a promotional style. With an experienced, creative, and award-winning staff, TBCN is the right choice for all your video and audio production needs. To learn about how we can help you expand or refine your business through the use of video, call us at 813-977-5200 and visit us at tbcn.org.
Hi, I'm Lisa Monteleone, Tampa City Council member, and this is Innovation Fixation. Welcome. Today, I have Jonathan Solomon with me from UVentures. And Jonathan, tell us a little bit about UVentures.
Well, UVentures was developed based on a technology that Dr. Michael Found, the director for the Center for Entrepreneurship at USF, developed over the course of the last 10 years. IP Tech Exchange, who does assessment, came forward about 3 years ago and worked with Dr. Found to make this algorithm more of a digital methodology, something that could be done by the average person and university professors and corporations and just everybody.
So what was the technology that was developed?
So the idea behind the technology is simply to figure out if your idea can be commercialized, whether it's patented or it's not patented. It was developed initially for universities because USF, for instance, sits with a plethora of patents. So it's a high price to figure out if it's even worth commercializing. Our algorithm is in limited use for an entire year. From there, we've decided that corporations can use it. Even the average person who has a great idea and they want to make it a reality, they can use our algorithm for a small price and figure out if it's an idea that they can actually take to market.
That's probably so valuable to people because you can spend years developing something, and if you don't have the audience for that product or for that service or for that idea, a lot of people are serial entrepreneurs and they could go on to something else rather than spend time with maybe a product or an idea or a service that's premature.
Correct. So for a university's perspective, for instance, they sit with a number of patents, and it could take weeks upon weeks for them to figure out if it's even worth commercializing. And it's at a high cost of up to $30,000 for just one patent. And then they still have to find somebody to commercialize it. Our algorithm is in unlimited use, and it takes about 15 minutes for them to figure out if it's worth commercializing. And so a university in a matter of a few days can find their next 5 rock star patents.
And they say time is money.
Time
So
is
the
money.
more time you save,
Yeah.
the more money can be,
Exactly.
put into other projects.
Exactly. And if you need help, we're willing to sit down and help you and fill out the form for you and try to get you to that point of figuring out if it's worth commercializing.
But so do you know a little bit about why the light bulb went off and said, we need something like this?
So Dr. Michael Found at the Center for Entrepreneurship, he's the director at the University of South Florida. He developed this methodology about 10 years ago and has been teaching it in the classroom for the last 10 years. IP TechX, who does assessment on a higher level, came to him about 3 years ago, was working with him in the classroom on the technology and said, you know what, we think we can make this more user-friendly and make it a digital algorithm. And that's where the idea came from 3 years ago to become UVentures.
You developed some or identified some projects or products or ideas that have been developed that you could give me examples of?
So most of it's private and we can't share, but over the last 3 years, they've been testing and have come up with, to make sure that the algorithm does work, and over the last 3 years have perfected the methodology. So we're finishing our development of it. We're about to go into testing phase, a beta test in about a month, and then we'll launch officially in November.
That's really fantastic. And you mentioned before, if someone in our audience would like your help, you'd help them with forms. So I would imagine, since you already said there's things you can't talk about, there's some non-disclosure agreements, there's some degree of confidentiality, so people don't have to worry about their ideas.
Right, so your privacy is our concern too, and that's a big thing. So when you share your information with us, it stays your information. We don't access it, we don't sell it. It's 100% private and secure. If someone brings their idea forward to us, we will assist them in filling the form out. But what we've made our form is incredibly consumer friendly. So just like TurboTax and LegalZoom have done for their industries, we make it very easy for anybody to fill the forms out themselves. We provide all the knowledge right there on the spot. It's very unlikely they would need to come to us for help.
So it's great to have a nice user-friendly process. So that makes it much easier for people. So how did you get involved?
So I've been doing product development for the last 6 years. And I'm friends with Dr. Found. I'm a student of his.
Oh, really?
I graduated in 2009.
Wow.
So I was taught this process about 7 years ago.
He must be very proud of that fact, to have a student come back and help him develop his idea.
I hope so. So knowing him and knowing the president of UVentures, they came forward to us. They were looking for funding. That's what I do. I do product development and I do funding of business ideas. And they said, would you be interested in this? So that's how myself and my company got involved in it.
Well, that's a terrific success story for students out there who are in entrepreneurship programs at universities. You're a product of that system and have come back to the university to help explore and expand their effectiveness, which is wonderful. Well, thank you for being with us today. And can you tell people how to get in touch with UVentures?
So for more information, they can reach out to UVentures, that's the letter U, ventures.com. Fill our form right now until we launch, and then we'll save your information, and we'll reach out to you when we're getting ready to launch.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being with us. Thanks for working on the UVentures project, and I hope much success when you do launch, and we'll be on the lookout for you. So thank you.
If you'd like to be featured on Tampa Bay Community Network, please call 813-977-5200 or visit tbcn.org.